This is me. I do this every day. I do this every single day. I used to work at a comic book store. I used to work at 2 comic book stores. I read comics every day. I draw every day. I bartend at a sci-fi horror themed bar. And I host Geek Night, where we have video games, and I have all these emulators and this Xbox, and I have like free games, and people come in and play Magic, and I'm trying to get the local chapter of the Star Trek fan club to have their meetings held here, because trust me, this is a much better venue than the food court at the mall. So I'm really trying to this is what I do. I feel like I can make a living being who I am. I started this thing. I started the Geek Night thing because this is how I live. If I'm gonna bartend, it's gonna be a place where people can come around and debate, the scientific inaccuracies of Buckaroo Banzai. That's what I want to happen at my bar. That's the kind of thing I want to do. It's finally cool to be a geek, When I was a kid, I wore my Starfleet uniform to school. That got my ass kicked. Now I see frat guys with Superman shirts on. I gotta strike while the iron's hot. You know what I mean?
Does that offend you?
Yes, yeah, a little bit, because I'm kind of like, I know you don't mean it. Like I kind of want to punch him, like when Shaquille O'Neal got that tattoo and then he was in Steel and he didn't even know anything about the character. I was so, really? Come on. They hated my artwork in college because they said it was too comic booky. So I stopped going to college, And, I just started thinking about it, I realized that I was becoming comfortable with, not doing anything that I really cared about for the rest of my life. And I don't want to be that guy anymore, It's easy for me to give up. My dad gave up. I don't want to say that, never mind. To be perfectly honest, to be perfectly honest, I decided I just had to do it, and that's the perfect venue. They have the portfolio review every year, talent search. It gets bigger and bigger every year. So, I went 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, the first time, and that was my goal. I was actually taking a portfolio there, and I was going to have it reviewed, and I was going to have it at least give me an idea, and I chickened out. I even had my stuff there at the hotel room. I just couldn't stand the idea of not I don't know, being told it wasn't good enough, I guess. I would be perfectly, if somebody sits down with me who's an artist that I ended up reading, when I was a kid, and admiring their stuff, or even moderately tolerating their stuff, and they actually look at my stuff and say, this isn't so bad, I'd be completely content for the rest of my life. The worst case scenario is that they set my portfolio on fire and depants me in front of the whole place. That's pretty much the worst case scenario. Best case scenario is, or that Rob Liefeld really loves my stuff. That's sort of the worst case scenario. But if the best case scenario would be that somebody that knows what they're talking about actually gives me feedback on the things that I need to improve and says that I have a chance. That's the important. I just want a chance. I want to make a chance for myself, for Christ's sake. I know I can do it. And I never did. And I thought, this year I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. I forced myself to do it. And my parents are gonna be there, and they're gonna support me, and they're gonna they're either gonna buy me a box of Kleenex, or they're gonna take me out to celebrate. Because this is it, man. This is really important to me. I just have to do it. This year I'm gonna make one that counts, and I'm gonna make it count for something. I really am. I'm gonna keep my stuff, put together a decent portfolio that I feel like I can at least sleep at night knowing that I did, and just see what they say. But this is, if I can make a living, at least a decent living, and being, doing what I do every day, then I'd be the happiest person on the planet. You know what I mean? Doing something I'm passionate about.
Aren't you doing that now?
I'm trying. It's kind of the idea, right? I don't know. I'm really scared about the future. I'm really scared about what the next step is, but you know what? I'm gonna do it. I don't care. I'm just gonna do it. I've spent too long waiting for things to just happen to me, waiting for my life to just start. And I have to be proactive. I'm gonna do it,